video, a clip actually from Abby Phillips' CNN show, and it was featuring Jillian Michaels and how she was talking about the Smithsonian and how they are changing the narrative and having slavery in America be viewed through a Marxist lens. And I think something that is really troublesome that no one's really talking about, even when they look at that video, because you see it in this video, it comes from the black guy, the black leftists that were there, Hakeem, I believe, and then Abby. Okay, you want to talk about misinformation? Let me spell this. Okay, I am 39 years old. I know this. This is early American history. All right. So to Abby and the other dumb black person that was up there, when slavery was entrenched in North Americans' society, it was the British colonies. You know, America comes from 12 British colonies. So when slavery was at its height, we were not America. It was the British colonies. Okay? All right? Get that? Second off, America got its independence in 1776. They did not bring slavery over. They inherited it because of the British. So, they couldn't, I don't know, get rid of the slaves. They didn't know what to do with the slaves, but they couldn't free them because they just formed this new economy and they needed free labor. So they wrote it within the Constitution that as long as America stayed a Christian nation and lived a moral life, eventually people will read this document and realize, hey, we can use this to free the slaves because their freedom is literally written in the Constitution. And that's what our founding fathers did. For those who want to sit here and call those white people, I don't know, unprepared, not really planning, not giving a shit about us, they literally did when they wrote the fucking Constitution. But, you know, that's one thing they're literally changing and talking on, and you can check this on ChatGPT. ChatGPT chops it up to innocent blurring between of the stories of historical facts over time. No, this is deliberate because they want to target white people and to blame America for the initial sin of slavery when it never started in America, because slavery was already in North America before America was even formed. So to sit here and blame America, the one country who actually banned slavery, they banned slavery in 1808, while African countries were still selling our black asses to Arabs. Yeah, because that slave trade lasted a hell of a lot longer, and it was way more brutal. They can sit here and say that the colonies, the British colonies, were terrible. No one ever talks about the Caribbean. No one ever talks about how bad the Spaniards, Caribbean, the colonies were there. The countless people that died. All y'all talk about are white people. You only think that England is the person or the people who had this original sin. And the craziest thing is, they were the ones to end it. They were the first ones to ban it. White people banned it from being in America. And then 1865, not even 60 years later, they fought a war. And even though it wasn't intentionally to free the slaves, that's what ended up happening. So, while all the other African countries were still catching slaves, I never hear any spell for them. Yet, the race that actually, the only race, not one person of color race, just think about that. Every person of color wants to just vilify every white person for slavery. I'm not making a joke. This is not just black people. You have Philip white people. You have the Asian people who blame white people. You have freaking Arabs who blame white people. Everybody blames white people. Every single minority who traded minorities and other tribes that rival theirs way longer than white people ever did when it became involved with slavery. It's asinine to me. No one has to smoke for the smallest minority in the world ended slavery. The smallest race in the world ended slavery. Listen to that. Not one person of color nation, the ones that cry about it today and bitch about and try to hop on the black oppression of one, because I get so sick and tired of that shit. I hate it when fucking other people of color try to jump on the whole black oppression and try to on our bandwagon to get where they're going, like they're our person. When the whole entire time, when you look throughout history, those people were never our friends. The Asians were never our friends. The Arabs were never our friends. The only people that have ever been our friends throughout history have been white people. If you don't fucking believe me, you need to read your fucking history. You need to read your fucking history. Now, when all the slave catching that was happening in Africa, not one person of color country came and tried to save us. Not one. But y'all want to vilify the one race that said, you know what? And I'm not going to sit here and say it was for altruistic reasons. We all know it was probably some global trade reason, and they're like, you know what, fuck it. All they got to do, all they have is to trade people. Like today. That's literally all Africa has. All Africa has is its own people to fucking sell the labor. That's all they fucking have. And that's all they ever did. So you know what? I don't know. The Europeans probably said, you know what? Fuck that. That's all they have. Let's blockade them. Let's make sure they never, ever trade again, because they probably pissed somebody off. That's probably what happened. And then they forced Africans to find another trade. A lot of them went into olive oil production. But you know what? You get dumb black people like Abby, and it drives me insane to see some of the dumbest black people who go and purposely misrepresent history and then sit here and act like the arbiters are true, and they're lying through their fucking teeth. And it's all to what? All to what? It's all to hate on one group of people who live in a country that you live in, which you could easily just move your black ass to another fucking country. You can get up and go, Abby. And matter of fact, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would prefer people like you to leave. We want you to be happy. We want you to find whatever country that will grant you the same opportunities that you clearly have in America. We want them to give you that same chance there without having the stain of oppressing your ancestors. But you know what? It probably won't be anywhere in Europe. It probably won't be anywhere in Africa. It probably won't be anywhere in the Middle East. Because guess what, Abby? White America, or white Britain, white British colonies, weren't the only ones who had blacks as slaves. And if you actually traveled outside of your country, if you actually traveled outside of America and read a little bit of history about where some of these black slaves were set, and then when you go there today and ask yourself, why? I know black slaves were sent here. How come there are none here? Maybe if you figured out why there's no black people there, maybe you might not think America had the most cruelty punishment towards black people. Just maybe. But, you know, this is what happens when you talk to black liberals who even when they have finally made success, like Abby being on her own show on TV, even though her ratings are the lowest of all the shows, only you can be a black woman like her and make as much money as her. At the same time, claim you're oppressed and demand that white people be villainized. Yet, the first black person, well, the first person in America to own slaves was a black man. Like, so I was